All right, Reed Lamberty is in Long Island City where workers are lining up for a couple of jobs that are available. Reed, what's happening?
Hey, Greg and Ro, good morning to you. This is an opportunity that only comes along every 2 years, a chance to become a plumber's apprentice, and of course then won't turn into be a full-time plumber. But why this year and why today is different than they've ever seen before. The story coming up here in just a bit.
Thank you.
Let's check out Mike Woods. He's in Madison Square Park. We're getting ready to do a great recipe there, right, Mike?
Oh, yeah, we got a great recipe out here.
An entourage for Gaddafi.
I understand, although I tell you what.
You know?
Yes. Thank you, Joe. A lot of people feel the same way. We do, actually. You know what I
know.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about a sign of the times.
What do you got?
People lining up for jobs. There's an apprenticeship for the plumber job, right? Reed Lamberty, you're in Long Island City right now. This has been going on for days, right?
Yeah, it has been. People have been lined up, actually. They started lining up last week and Monday, but the union said you can't be here set up that long. Guys started showing up Friday morning for this. And you said a sign of the times. Just to give you just a sign of what's going on out here. There were over 2,000 people waiting online. It literally went around a city block and some. Typically about 1,000 people line up for these applications, but bad economy. Double that number this year, about 2,000 people. Let me introduce to you now Arthur Clock. He is with the Plumbers Local 1. And Arthur, you said earlier that you were a little bit surprised with the number of people because typically you get about 1,000 people waiting online just to get the applications, and it was at least 2,000.
Absolutely. This is the biggest number we've ever seen. We do this once every 2 years. Generally, it's a little bit under 1,000 that show up, and then on the morning of, a couple more people show up. This has been the biggest turnout we've ever seen.
You know, I just want to point out that this is just an application process. This is not even a guarantee of a job. So what exactly are they applying for?
They're applying to become an apprentice in Plumbers Local 1. This is a program that's sponsored by the Association of Contracting Plumbers and the union, and they would be an apprentice. It's a 5-year program. At the end of the program, they'll get an associate's degree in science from Empire State College, and they'll also become a journeyman plumber.
And this is a career, as you mentioned earlier. We were talking off camera. This is not just a job. This is a career.
Absolutely. This is a career. They're learning a trade. It takes 5 years to learn this trade. It's not something you can learn in 6 months.
And I'm a little bit surprised that of the 2,000 people, of the 1,000 applicants who actually get in, you then have a process of selecting only a handful of them.
That's correct. Of the 1,000 people who get an application, really they're going to go through a process. The New York State Department of Labor is going to test them for aptitude. We're going to do interviews, and in the end, only maybe 100 to 150 people will get in the next 2 years.
A very small number, even over the next 2 years. So these guys are taking the chances. But again, I guess the sign of the times. A lot of these men and women are unemployed or underemployed. Arthur.
It's a good opportunity for a job with benefits and a pension, and those jobs are getting harder and harder to find.
All right. Arthur Clock with the union. We do appreciate your time, Arthur. Thank you very much. In excess of 2,000 men and women out here waiting since Friday morning. Really quite a scene out here what we got here. Of course, we'll have more for this story coming up a little bit later on. Fox 5 News starting at 5 o'clock. But for now, from Long Island City, I'm Reed Lamberty. Ro and Greg, back inside to you.
Thank you so much. So an apprenticeship, and usually probably that's not a lot of money to begin with for
start.
5 years, right?
It's a good, solid job, and we wish those guys luck in line.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, Lisa Murphy.